Hi. If you could not tell by how awful I am at this, this is my first video, and I will be doing an eyeshadow look using the Natasha Denona Bronze Palette. I'm gonna do something that I normally don't do, and that is do my eyeshadow before my foundation. I've heard that Natasha Denona's formula is very good, it's very pigmented, but there is some fallout. And with the foundation that I'm going to be using, I just don't think it's gonna work out too well. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so the first step of what I'm going to be doing is priming my eyelids. I like to use the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Now, I do like the yellow undertones it has because I do have some purple discoloration and darkness on my eyelid. I also have really oily eyelids, and this has a little bit of like a dryness to it that will really act as a barrier between my eye oils, breaking down the shadows. So I'm blending out my eye primer with a really fluffy brush. This is a Morphe PK524. You want to have a little bit of give to it, like some of the fluff here. That way it's really like blending and it's not just transferring the product. You want to really push it in. That way it does what it needs to do. So going into the palette, I really need to stop doing that. I think I'm gonna go in with Suntan right here on this. It's literally just called an elf crease brush. I like this because it is small, so it'll really fit in that crease, and it's fluffy, so it'll start to blend without just blowing it out of proportion. So I'm gonna go into the crease with this. There's a lot of pigment right off the bat. I really like that. And I like to stamp, so I'm going up and down, literally just pat, 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 pat on the crease. That way I can lay down the color, and that way it has a solid like foundation before I start to like blend it out. If you see me looking over here, there's a mirror there. There's also a mirror behind me, which I'm sure you've seen because I've been awful with the Natasha Denona mirror. And I'm not apologizing. I used to say, and I still kind of do say, I'm sorry a whole heck of a lot. And it's like, I don't need, over things that I don't really need to apologize for. I don't need to apologize for being awful on my first YouTube video. I try to hold myself to the highest standard possible, and I shouldn't. Well, I should, but I shouldn't like beat myself up if I don't miss it on everything, especially things that I'm A, new at, or B, just, you know, it's impossible to give 100% of yourself to every single thing that you try. It's great to try, but don't let it consume you. And that's something that I've had a really big issue with, is like, I'm bad at this, or I'm not perfect at this even. So if I'm not the best, I'm worthless, and I just stop. And I've dropped a lot of hobbies, or not even really started a lot of hobbies because of that attitude. So that is Suntan. I really like it. I kind of want to blend it out with another shade in here. Or should I just do it by itself? I really, really like this. Not like as is, just the color. Walk into a shift at Ulta like, yes, I can help you with anything you need. I'm going to blend it out with the shade Ridge. So yes, Ulta. I used to work at Ulta, for those who don't know me or don't know that I did. I really liked it. It's just, I started school again, and then I had some health issues in my family, and there was just a lot of personal things, and I decided that retail life wasn't the best life for me anymore. I've worked in the restaurant industry before, and Ulta was 1,000 times better than anything that they could offer, but it still just wasn't my life, my journey. I'm from Florida. Hi, I'm from Florida, but I moved to Louisiana about 3 years ago, and I stayed here in Louisiana for 2 years. But then about a year ago, I moved back home. And the Ulta here, where I used to live, was like a 7-minute drive from my house. It was great. I like to swipe when I blend and then go into circles, just to ensure that everything's diffused before I go into circles. I don't know why if I immediately start with circles, I just feel like everything looks muddy. But if I start with circles, I feel like everything looks muddy. I just realized that my ring light isn't on. I'm too eager. Probably a lot better. Or worse. We'll see. But you know, Ulta, 10 out of 10, would work there again. Whenever I moved, going back to my previous story, the nearest Ulta was 40 minutes away. And I transferred. I thought that I was not gonna have like too big of a deal. I left for work like an hour before I was supposed to get there, and I would get there with like 20-30 minutes before my shift clocked in. And I didn't mind that. Working at Ulta, I didn't mind the drive. And I've had wonderful managers everywhere I've gone. I've worked technically at 3 stores. Wonderful general managers no matter where I worked, but my general manager at the store in Florida, I was only there for like 4 months, and she kind of like changed my life. She was a leader in like every single sense of the word. You know, I've always said I'm sorry for like minuscule things or things that were like completely out of my control, and she kind of got me to the habit of like, stop saying sorry. She taught me a lot about myself in my short time there. You know, she taught me that it's okay to show weakness. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay for a lot. I had a lot going on in my life at the time, and I hated quitting. I really did. But school and everything, it was kind of making me a bad employee. I hate to say it, like I wasn't getting on with with some of my coworkers there that I would at like the store here. I just became more closed off, standoffish, and I kind of like regret everything there. Like I was moved into a new position completely away from, not completely away from the registers, but basically away from the registers. And I'm really good at socializing and like joking around and such, but I just wasn't getting this new position. And I felt like I was doing horribly, and I just felt the need to apologize, and like maybe this wasn't the best fit for me. And I just, when you're in the funk, you don't realize what's wrong. And so my manager like was trying to pull me back and trying to have me talk and trying to have me open up, and I thought I was opening up, but I really wasn't. And it just translated into a poor work attitude, poor work experience. Oh no, I kind of want to go back and like apologize to all those people. I wasn't like mean, I wasn't like rude, but I wasn't the best I could have been. And they really, really did try to get me to open up and be like the best that I could be. It's kind of turned into therapy. I kind of dove back into suntan, and I'm just kind of working to diffuse it. I have a little mirror right here where everything looks pretty okay. It could be more blended, but it looks pretty okay. But then the mirror back there, it looks great. So I don't know how it looks for all of you, but that's okay. This first attempt isn't going to be perfect. I need to accept that. And I just need to know, you know, I need to give myself a foundation to learn from. I need to give myself this experience and learn from it. And that's kind of like the main thing with going back to, I guess, whatever the point of what I've been trying to talk about this whole video has been. Just do it. Like, be like Nike and just do it. You're not going to be the best right off the bat. You have to learn and you have to grow. And it's scary, but that's not a bad thing. The people that you see that have been doing this for 10 years, they had to start somewhere. And no, I also thought like the industry is just too big. There's already so many people in beauty. What am I going to contribute to it? I don't have to contribute to it. I just have to have fun. I like to lick my brush. I don't know about, setting spray is expensive, man. Setting spray is expensive. So I just kind of lick. I should probably cut my crease. I'm not gonna cut my crease. I'm gonna see how these do without a cut crease. Without a cutted creased. I'm leaving that in. I think I'm gonna go in with Silk. Looks very pretty. Now I saw a video of Natasha Denona using her foiled shadow. I saw where she was using her finger. I don't like that. I don't like for my hands to be dirty with anything. I have a little like face mask brush. I'll dip the end of it into my moisturizer because I don't like my fingers touching things. I don't know. I'm just weird. So I am going to start with that right here. Oh, I picked up too much. That's fine. I'm gonna start with that right here. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh my God. I'm just gonna stamp out a little crease for me. Whoa. Okay. This is the most pigment I've ever gotten out of an eyeshadow without cutting the crease. And I am pretty impressed. Although I am kind of cutting my crease with the shadow. That's fine. Now it is buildable. Like I don't feel like any more of it is like crumbling off if I go on top. Which is something that I've noticed in like Colourpop's foiled shadows. If I try to go in with more on top, it'll all kind of just, when I try to put it on will seem to like crumble. Like they're very sensitive. I'm having more fun the more this goes along. Why didn't I do this 2 years ago? I'm gonna use that I tried to say exact and same, but I said exame. So I'm going to be using that exame brush and going in with Palladium, yes. And I'm gonna put that right here just to kind of marry the brown into the gold. This is what I like to do just to kind of not tone it down, but I feel like it helps just the look and the blend a lot more. I'm going to be going back in with the brush that I used to like sweep on the crease and ends to help marry it further, but I just feel like this helps. It could not, but it makes me feel like it does. And that's all that's important. I'm not gonna pick up any extra pigment. I'm just gonna take this brush. Oh yeah, it's the Morphe R39, and I used the Morphe R35 to blend it. This is one of my favorite blending brushes. R39. Just gonna sweep from the outside in. And then I also like to pat over in like a little like oval circle. Little oval motion going up into the brow bone and out and just kind of all around. That's another thing that my old GM taught me, was like, stop justifying myself. Like just do something and do it. And then again, this, I am gonna take a little bit of suntan. I'm gonna stamp it on the outside. That way most of the intensity is just there. And then again, just bring it in and then just kind of pat in that oval motion, kind of going up into the brow bone and out. I do kind of like a V shape. Not even a V shape, just like a triangle shape. I do like a triangle, and then I fill the triangle in. That's what I do, outside, inside. Outside, inside. So, looking into the mirror, I see a fuzzy on my face. I do see some fallout, but it's just from like the foiled shade. I didn't even have to not do my foundation first, but you know what? This is a journey. So, I'm also going to be trying out the new Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation for the first time. I'm an oily lady for the most part. I am going to be moving to California where it's probably going to be a little bit drier, and I do get extremely, extremely dry during the winter. So a little tip that I heard, I can't remember where I heard it from, was with this, since it's so like light coverage, if you go in like with a concealer, it'll just look too stark of a comparison if you do foundation and then concealer. But if you do concealer and then foundation, it kind of just masks it. I do like to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Sand, light to medium sand. Ooh. And I don't really think I like to use like a lot of concealer, but there is some darkness under my eye, which is again why I'm going in with like a sand foundation. Even though I have neutral undertones, I want to go in with a lighter concealer and a more yellow concealer, and then whenever I go in with the neutral foundation on top, it'll kind of help negate the yellowness that's negating the purple. I think I know color theory. I like to use a beauty blender. I keep leaning over to look at like my mirror, and I'm sorry. I have a lot of creases under my eyes, so I really like to work it in there, which sucks because if I set it, my under eyes can look really dry. But if I don't set it, then I have like these long creases underneath, and I hate it. All right, so that's my concealer. As you can see, it's yellow. I look yellow. So I'm gonna go in with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I'm gonna take that on the same sponge that I did use my concealer with, just because I only wanna use one sponge. It's very liquidy. This might not be my shade. There's nowhere to go but up. And I do like to use the pointed end of the Beauty Blender, just because I do like to get like underneath the under eye precision. I forgot to prime. I used a moisturizer earlier, so hopefully, if Raw Beauty Christie's right, that can be a pretty good primer. So for those of you who don't know about hyaluronic acid, it pulls in moisture from the outside to your face, just kind of just like that. It just kind of pulls moisture from the air and onto your face. If you're dry and you live in an area that's very dry, it's just gonna pull moisture from way down in your skin, which is gonna make you look even drier. I really like this. I could look completely insane on camera, but in my lighting, it doesn't look that bad. I'm gonna take the Ulta Mineral Powder Foundation in Fair Warm to set everything. I don't really like to set the light into, I say I don't really like to set the entirety of my face. I don't like to bake. That's a good phrase. I used to bake religiously because people on YouTube told me to. This is an IT Cosmetics brush. It's been discontinued. Why am I using it? I'm gonna pat what I have on here because I'm cheap. Going in with the Morphe R7. I have a lot of the brushes from the R line. I just really like them. I'm gonna be going in a little bit more all over. I'm gonna stamp this on my forehead where I get shiny. Stamp this on my chin where I get shiny. And now that I have like little to no powder left on the brush, I'm gonna just go into these areas and just kind of blend. Next, I'm gonna do my bottom lash line. All right, I'm going to take this little e.l.f. brush again, because again, it's small, but it's fluffy, so it kind of stamps and kind of blends at the same time. I'm gonna go in with suntan again. I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna fall into that trap. And I'm gonna start my stamping at like this little halfway mark, because if I start right here, I'm gonna look like 90s grunge all over. So I kind of start right here and stamp my way out and in. And I kind of look up when I do it. And I kind of fluff it out there. And I'm done. Just kidding. I'm gonna go back in with my R35 and kind of just blend. I'm gonna look up and just again do my sweeping motions. I'm gonna blend this into that little outer V that I did. And this I am gonna take all the way in. I just realized like I do this with it. No, whatever, it's just the brush. It's not like you paid for it. I see some glitter, like fallout. I don't think you guys do. And that's what's important. I'm gonna kill myself if this iPhone runs out of memory before I'm done. I tried to film a YouTube video like 5 years ago with my best friend Jonathan, where we did each other's makeup blindfolded because that was a trend at the time. And it got halfway through mine and it died. Or it didn't die, it ran out of memory, and I was like, come on. So another thing with my blending brush, I like to take my crease shade like into here. I don't know why, I think it looks better, but I just feel like it makes the eyes, and I feel like it helps with like a natural contour of the nose, where there's like some dimension here, so it kind of like makes it look kind of like straight, as opposed to like if the eye look started here, all this would be like white and your nose would look really wide. With this foundation, I like it. My pores are a little bit bigger, but I didn't prime. Normally, I'll put a pore filling primer like here, and that'll really help, but I don't feel like they're any bigger than they normally are, which is great. So I really like this. I like the coverage. I like a lot about it. I like the way it makes my skin look. I do some funky stuff with my brows. Please give me better ideas on how to do my brows. You might be asking, how do you do your brows? Why do you think it's so terrible? What do you use? Well, I use ABH Dip Brow in the shade Auburn, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and the James Charles Morphe palette. I use eyeshadow. Not that using eyeshadow is a bad thing, but it's like there's gotta be a simpler way than 3 products on 2 brows. My hair is a brighter orange than this is, and this is Auburn. This is what they have for redheads. So what I like to do is I'll use this on my tails. So I'll kind of start, I have to like get over here, and I'm sorry, maybe that works because you can get really in. I like everything to be centered, even though I've probably been off center this whole video. It's fine. I like to take this and I'll start at like 2/3 of the way in on the top, and I'll just kind of flick and I'll blend that, and then I'll bring it down. Start a little bit further underneath, probably at about like halfway in. Then I'll flick it up and bring it in. Tail. And then I'll just brush up. Bam. But that is like way darker than my red hair. I don't like that. I'll take this clear brow gel. Bam. And I'll just brush it through everything. And it does help keep everything in place and kind of blend like the fronts, like if it's not like the most blended it could be. And then I take the eyeshadow. So I like to use this shade. It's the exact middle shade. I don't know what it is. I think it's Canvas. I don't know. And I'll just kind of stamp that orange color. I'll move at the front, go to the back. I do kind of like my brows to have like an ombre, so I won't take it all the way down the tail. Hopefully I'll be able to like cut and splice the way I want, because I start like giggling mid-sentence because I look into the camera and I'm like, yep, I'm doing it. I'm doing the darn thing. All right, let me do the other brow and I'll be right back. All right, so the majority of my complexion, I'm gonna be going in with the Physicians Formula X Wiley face palette. It looks like this. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I'm gonna be going in with the deep bronzer. I'm just gonna be livening up these cheeks, warming up. This is the Real Techniques 424. It's kind of like an adjustable brush. I like it a lot. So I keep it at just a little bit over the mid-range for my cheeks. I just kind of stamp, and then I do this. Then I go with circle motions. That might be a little too warm for me. That is definitely a little too warm for me. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what this sees. Going with the Sunset bronzer. Just over that, and I'm gonna have this on like the biggest it can be and really just blend. So where I like to put my bronzer, I have a little bit of like a little bit of like a cheekbone mark, like right here. I like to put this above that. You can kind of see right there. At least I can in the mirror. I kind of put it a little bit above that way, because I inevitably go down when I blend. I don't know why. It's just what I do. I tried really hard to like not do that, because if you push your skin down, you can make it sag and you look old. Don't want that. But it's what I do. So in order to correct that, I start with my bronzer higher than I would want it to be. And then whenever I inevitably blend it down, it's great. This has a little bit of like a slight shimmer to it. Interesting. I don't really like shimmery bronzers normally, but this I don't really seem to mind. Maybe just with this look, you know, it's like as long as it's not as foiled as these shadows, I'm great. I'm gonna go back in with a sunset bronzer and I'm gonna do my jawbone. I didn't really start seriously thinking about my fitness until after I quit Ulta. Whenever I started like seriously thinking about my fitness was about mid-February. And so it was great. I was like, great, I got a gym membership. COVID happened. So what I was doing at the gym, I ended up just like walking, and I would walk for like 5 miles every day at home. And I lost like 25 pounds, which is great. Okay. Oh, and it's shimmery. Oh, it's definitely oh my God. Nowhere to go but up, 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 nowhere to go but up. You know, I always thought that progress had to be like, you know, like exponential growth, basically. Like I had to, like, if I kept like losing weight, it was just gonna compound on itself. And it's like, no, you're going to like plateau for a bit, you know, and then you'll lose. And that's kind of what happened to me. Like I first started working out and I lost like 7 pounds in 2 weeks. And I was like, yes. And then I stayed there for like 3 weeks. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And then I lost some more weight. I lost like 10 pounds in 3 weeks, and it was just steady, 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 steady. And I was like, yes. And now I haven't really lost anything, and it's been like a month, but I moved and I've just been going through a lot of like lifestyle changes. So that makes sense. At least I'm not gaining in my mind, and at least I'm trying to still establish and have these healthy habits. That way, whenever I do get on a more regular schedule, I can like, you know, keep up with it, and I'll allow my body to like perform the best it can be, lose as much weight as possible. And yeah, I'm really like excited. I know 2020 has been awful for like everyone, but I feel like it's just opened up. I have eyeshadow all over my white pants. I feel like it has just opened up like this world of possibility for me, and I'm so excited for it. And I'm not saying you should too, because 2020 has been bad for a lot of people for a very good reason. Taking apricot. If you have the opportunity to see the good, see it. Don't focus on, you know, the negative. Don't focus on the bad if you can help it. Like obviously, if you're sad, accept that you're sad. Accept that feeling of sadness and embrace it. It's okay to be sad, because being sad is being human, but you can't like revel in it. You can't allow yourself to be overcome by this sadness that you just don't do anything. That's something that it was really, really hard for me to learn. But I had to. Kind of like this. Kind of like it. I want to take Wildflower. It's the more mauve-y one. I typically don't like mauves with my skin tone, but on top of this very warm blush, who knows what the possibilities are going to be. I didn't really do anything, at least from what I see. Didn't do anything good, didn't do anything bad. It's just kind of there. So I got the NARS Orgasm X blush, which I used to hate Orgasm because I didn't like shimmery blush, I didn't like shimmery bronzers, I didn't like shimmery anything. It is super pigmented. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's pink. Oh yeah, that's pink. I used the Morphe G39 brush to do my blush thing. I'm gonna take this Morphe tapered blush. It doesn't have a number. It's just a Morphe tapered brush. So I'm going to take Golden Hour. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty. That's just what this needed. Ooh. Let's do some on the Cupid's bow just because I like it. And it doesn't have like a dark cast to this side either. It just kind of looks like my skin, and then bam. Really like that face palette. Okay. It's my first time really working with it. A lot of firsts. I didn't want this to be like a first impressions video. I just kind of wanted it to be like, not an introduction video, because I'm still figuring some stuff out. I don't want to have like a proper introduction until I have everything figured out. But definitely just like, hey, maybe that's why I did a bronzy look. I was just too excited to use my Natasha Denona palette. That's my first Natasha Denona palette. I say first if I'm gonna get any more. This palette is exclusive to Target, by the way. Which I didn't know that Target had like makeup exclusives until I went there, and I was like, oh, I want it. And I'm actually gonna put this in my inner corner and on my brow bone a little bit. So I like to take a little flat brush instead of a pencil brush, just because I feel like with a pencil brush, it kind of gets everywhere on me, just because my eye shape, like if I have it on something that is like multi-dimensional, like it can get on, if it can get on all the sides, it will get on all the sides. It's Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong in makeup, it will go wrong in makeup. I'm like excluding like sponsorships before they even happen. Morphe's gonna be like, who are you? Trash us. I won't really like bring it down. I'll just kind of run it across. And then I will take fluffy blending brush, R35, and just really get it underneath there. And again, like back to back, circular motions, whatever works for you. Bam, it's blended. I really like my whole face. I don't feel like I look too cakey. I don't feel like I look bad. I guess I need to do eyeliner, mascara, lips. So I'm going to be using this travel size roller liner by Benefit and a travel sized roller lash by Benefit. I like Benefit Cosmetics. I used to think that if I was ever going to work for a specific makeup brand, I would want to work for Benefit Cosmetics. I just really liked their cheek palettes. I still like their cheek palettes. I just really like them. Ooh, that was a... Don't do eyeliner and talk. You really cannot see me. I'm gonna continue this off camera. All right, so my eyeliner's done. I really like this liner. It is very pigmented, very black. That's really all that I want in an eyeliner. Mascara time, which I will once again be going off camera for, and probably for applying my lashes, I'll go off camera for that, and I'll be back for lips. All right, for liner for my bottom lash line, I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. It's in the shade Perversion, which is their blackest black. Oh my god. All right, I'm back with lashes, mascara, bottom liner, all that good stuff. I really like these lashes. They're the Style Gemini by Eben, New York. These are what I like to call like fit and flare lashes because they start really like thin and sparse towards the inner corner, and then they just kind of loom out and get more full and more long at the ends, as opposed to like being the same length or getting like thicker in the center like some lashes do. I feel like these lashes really add to a smoky look because they add more darkness and dimension on the outers, just like a smoky eye does. On the outers, on the outer corner. So next is lips, and I'm gonna be using all of this. This is Spice Lip Pencil by Huda Beauty. My perfect like nude lip is actually Clo Money by Kylie Cosmetics. I've gone through 5. I've gone through 5 Clo Moneys. No, this is Spice by MAC. Why did I say Huda Beauty? So yes, Spice Lip Pencil by MAC. And then Clo Money. I really like Clo Money with Spice. I used to really like Clo Money with Lolita. I think it's a little too pinky for this look, but good thing I have another lipstick to combine. Whatever would we do if I didn't just use 2 lip products instead of a bajillion? This is the e.l.f. and Nabla Noor Myra Nude. It's a much more peachy nude. I look all right. I can't stop it, I need to add a gloss. So my favorite gloss in the whole world is Perfect Nude Tinted Juice Infused Lip Oil by the Ulta brand. These are like 10 bucks. And typically Ulta has like a buy 2 get 2 free, buy 1 get 1 50% off sale on their stuff. And I just love it. And last but not least, for setting spray, I'm going to be using MAC Pep and Prime Fix Plus. Look at how much I have left. It's almost done. I love that. I love using my stuff. I have too much stuff. There we go. Proper mist. Now I do use a lot of setting spray, not because it's like, I'm bougie, I can afford it. It's because I live in the South and it's humid and I'm oily and I forgot to prime. This lash, this corner of this lash, does not like me. All right, so just for the outro and whatever Instagram pics I take, I have figured out my eyeliner. That way you cannot see that wonky inner corner lash. But yeah, this is the complete look. I really, really like it. Natasha Denona palette is a win. This foundation is a win. The Whaley face palette is a win. I really think that this is a great start to my channel. Thank you all for staying with it to the end. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. Might be a long one. I've been filming for just over an hour and a half. Hope to cut it down to like a third of that, please. But yeah, please follow all of my socials either at the end of this video, linked in the description, both. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.